Here comes the ultimate test of UK brains and bandwidth. Welcome back, little trivia meat nugget. Congratulations if you've survived the first 2 quizzes in this series. Perhaps you're a statistically improbable specimen of intellect. But are you ready for another hammering of challenging questions that make a British crossword look like preschool scribbles? Only the bravest Brainiacs will make it through unscathed. The rest of you, well, prepare to be Melvinated. And so we shall begin. Level 1. A few light riffs to stretch those synapses before I crush them completely. Enjoy this fleeting comfort. Which London band released Combat Rock in 1982, featuring Rock the Casbah? The Clash. Be Here Now is a 1997 album by who? Oasis. Which 1980s band's debut album was Boy, released in 1980? U2. The 1966 hit single Gimme Some Lovin' was by which British invasion band? The Spencer Davis Group. Which singer fronted the band The Animals? Eric Burdon. Moon the Loon was the nickname for who? Keith Moon. Name the trio who released the 2003 album titled Absolution. Muse. Which Spice Girl was nicknamed Baby Spice? Emma Bunton. The Dark Side of the Moon was a 1973 concept album by whom? Pink Floyd. Joe Strummer was the iconic frontman for The Clash, and which later band? Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros. Guitarist Eric Clapton was a key member of the Yardbirds, Cream, and what other famous blues rock group? Derek and the Dominos. Which band released Selling England by the Pound in 1973? Genesis. The 1971 album Aqualung was released by which band? Jethro Tull. No Dice is a 1970 album by which Welsh band? Badfinger. Which London band's 2000 debut album Parachutes featured the single Yellow? Coldplay. Vienna is the 1981 signature song for which UK new wave band? Ultravox. Which Scottish singer formed the band Garbage with US members, but hails from Edinburgh? Shirley Manson. Jean-Jacques Burnel is which punk band's bassist and singer? The Stranglers. The 1983 hit In a Big Country, known for its bagpipe-like guitars, was the signature song for which Scottish band? Big Country. By Jove, you did it! A spark of intellect amidst the drizzle. Which London band released A Night at the Opera in 1975? Queen. Wannabe was the 1996 debut single for which classic girl power group? The Spice Girls. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles was released in what year? (1967). Only lasting 9 years, what Basingstoke, Hampshire band released the single 1112 in 2009? Canterbury. What band's 1985 album Lowlife continued Joy Division's legacy? New Order. Starting as a skiffle duo consisting of Alan Clark and Graham Nash, they evolved into which band by 1962? The Hollies. Level 2. Ready to wade into the musical murk? These aren't your chart toppers. This is where true knowledge hides in the B-sides. Which Welsh band's 1998 single Mulder and Scully referenced The X-Files? Catatonia. Whitesnake's album Slip of the Tongue was released in what year? November 1989. The Rolling Stones track Sympathy for the Devil opens their 1968 album titled what? Beggar's Banquet. There Is a Light That Never Goes Out, released in 1986, is often cited as one of the best songs by which band? The Smiths. Which Surrey-based band broke up after their 8th album, 2023's Truth Decay? You Me at 6. Wham! Became the first Western pop group to perform where in 1985? China. Pink Floyd's 1970 album, famous for its cover art of a cow, is titled what? Atom Heart Mother. Common Dreads is a 2009 album by which St Albans rock band? Enter Shikari. David Bowie, an integral part of the 1970s glam rock scene, also co-wrote which hit song with Queen? Under Pressure. Which band released In Rainbows in 2007 as a pay-what-you-want download? Radiohead. Name the 1997 debut album by Welsh band Stereophonics. Word Gets Around. Another Music in a Different Kitchen was the 1978 debut album for which key UK punk band? The Buzzcocks. Which Scottish band's 1989 album, Street Fighting Years, featured Belfast Child? Simple Minds. Sam McTrusty is the lead singer for which Scottish alternative rock band? Twin Atlantic. Released in April of 2011, Go Now and Live is an album by which Essex rock band? We Are the Ocean. Led Zeppelin's first ever concert performance was in which Scandinavian country in 1968? Denmark. Which female singer fronted the band Skunk Anansie? Skin. Deborah Ann Dyer. Queen was formed by Freddie Mercury, Brian May and Roger Taylor, with which bassist joining last in 1971? John Deacon. Damon Albarn is the only permanent member of which two major UK projects? Blur and Gorillaz. The Balcony was which band's 2014 debut? Catfish and the Bottlemen. The 1998 hit Brimful of Asher by Corner Shop became a huge success after a remix by who? Fatboy Slim. Which Northern Irish band's 1978 single Teenage Kicks became a punk classic? The Undertones. The classic blues rock band Faces, formed in 1968, featured members from the Small Faces and which other band? The Jeff Beck Group. Before they were The Who, the band briefly went by what other name for their 1964 debut? The High Numbers. Which Manchester group's 1989 single, Fool's Gold, was over 9 minutes long? The Stone Roses. Level 3. This is it. The ultimate brain melter. Only the bravest will emerge with dignity intact. Everyone else, forever known as the ones who blew it on question 74. The band Marmalade was from where? Glasgow, Scotland. David Robert Jones is the birth name of which iconic rock star? David Bowie. I Predict a Riot was a single from which group's 2005 debut titled Employment? Kaiser Chiefs. My Aim Is True was the 1977 debut album for which UK new wave artist? Elvis Costello. Name the Welsh singer who led the band Catatonia, known for Road Rage. Cerys Matthews. Was that guess fueled by lukewarm ale? The Prodigy's worldwide hit Firestarter features the vocals of which band member? Keith Flint. The 1973 glam rock hit Come On Feel the Noise was by which British band? Slade. What is the title of Depeche Mode's debut album released in 1981? Speak and Spell. David Bowie wrote the 1973 glam rock hit All the Young Dudes for which UK band? Mott the Hoople. Which Sheffield synthpop band released Dare in 1981? The Human League. Name the Rolling Stones album that introduced the famous Tongue and Lips logo. Sticky Fingers in 1971. The UK boy band Take That originally featured which famous solo artist? Robbie Williams. Black Sabbath's Paranoid album was originally intended to have what title based on its opening track? War Pigs. The British synthpop duo Yazoo, or Yaz, was formed by Vince Clarke and which other member? Alison Moyet. The 1991 album Bandwagon-esque was a defining release for which Scottish alternative rock band? Teenage Fan Club. The 1994 album Dummy was the debut for which UK band? Portishead. Jerry Marsden was the lead singer of which 60s Merseybeat band? Jerry and the Pacemakers. On the 1966 Rolling Stones hit Paint It Black, which band member famously played the sitar? Brian Jones. What was the name of the solo project by Oasis's Noel Gallagher, formed after the band split? Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. Zach Starkey, who has played drums for The Who and Oasis, is the son of which Beatle? Ringo Starr. The Yardbirds famously featured 3 celebrated guitarists. Name any 2. Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, or Jimmy Page? Black Sabbath originally formed in Birmingham under what blues rock name in 1968? Polka Tulk Blues Band, then Earth. The band Towers of London were originally formed under what name? The Tourettes. Mick Jones, who later formed Big Audio Dynamite, was the guitarist for which iconic London punk band? The Clash. The 2011 single Shake It Out appeared on the album Ceremonials by which London-based band? Florence and the Machine. Which indie band's 2006 debut, Inside In/Inside Out, featured naive. The Kooks. And there it is, puny humans, the end of today's UK band odyssey. You've faced riffs, legends, and lyrical labyrinths, and somehow you're still breathing. If you managed a top score, you've earned the rare honour of Melvin's microscopic respect. If not, don't worry. Ignorance loves company. Subscribe, ring that little notification bell, and maybe, just maybe, you'll evolve enough to challenge me again. Until next time, keep your frequencies tuned to genius. Melvin, out. Oh, you're leaving? Bold of you to assume your brain can survive out there without more of me. Click one of these before your IQ drops further.